What's up, you guys? Sean Ross Sapp, managing editor, or janitor 2 at Fightful.com, as I was announced as on last Wednesday's list, and your boy. It is September 9th, 9/9/19. Reminds me of the Dreamcast. I'm joined here by the Dream Maker, Alex Pawlowski. But Alex, all dreams must come to an end.
Yeah.
As has your run on the Monday Night Raw post-show here at Fightful.com.
It's been a while. Like, I know Rob was on it to begin with, and then he was removed, and I took over. But it was
unceremoniously fired. Was Rob? Not really. Not really. Rob had to leave because he was thinking about accepting a Flow Slam job. Then he told him, "Hit the bricks," in a great career move from Rob Karen.
Yeah. And then I took over, but that was what, fall of 2016, something like that.
Yeah,
and
3 years, man.
3 years dissecting Monday Night Raw. Its ups and its many, many downs. And frankly, I'm excited to be going on to the A shows on Wednesday. But we may have an announcement later that I may not be moving entirely away from the B and C shows.
We can go ahead and make some of those announcements because I teased them, and let's be honest, there weren't that many segments on Raw tonight. There was a lot of stuff, but not that many segments, so we can talk about it. Next Monday, you will be replaced by Denise Salcedo, who does some great work with AfterBuzz. She's been on Xbox podcast. She is awesome. When I was able to land her, I was very excited. Now, Alex will remain on the Tuesday shows until SmackDown moves to Friday. Then, Warren Hayes joins me on Fridays. There will be some times where I have fill-ins for that show because guys got to have a day off. But Alex and Warren will both be joining me on Wednesdays. It's looking like we're going to do a post show. I got a little eager and said maybe we'll do a watch along. But
you may have gotten a little big for your britches.
So what that does is it shuffles a lot of things. Our Fightful Select subscribers said, well, what happened to the NXT 205 Live UK review that Warren does? Well, NXT will be covered weekly starting next week. We're going to get on a live post show as soon as they go on USA. We're going to be covering that weekly along with AEW. We do the Weekender podcast on Fightful Select with Steven Jensen, who covers non-WWE stuff. So I said, hey, why don't you run down 205 Live and NXT UK? We can make it a non-main roster show, so to speak. He was down with that. But we have additional segments. Alex has pitched, and honestly, me and Jimmy had kind of talked about it prior without him even knowing.
I know, it's weird.
And Alex, you pitched me a segment called Sour Graps.
Yeah. I don't know if I'll be watching Monday Night Raw live, but I'll be watching it that night at some point in fits and starts. And I'll be taking some notes. And I'll be, for those of you who feel like you're going to miss me crapping all over bad segments of Raw, don't worry, you'll still be able to get them in a little one-man review thing. I'm still playing around exactly with how it's going to work, but it's going to be called Sour Graps, where I hate what you like. And it's going to be a lot of fun, I think.
That was a fantastic name, because I was thinking, like, okay, I want to pitch Alex this segment, but what should we do? Because even Jimmy was like, all right, if Alex is off a Raw, we should have him do some sort of segment. But myself and Jimmy have a segment that's being added to Select along with Sour Graps. That Stupid People Extended ran its course. It's out of here. So we're doing The List Goes On. Last week we had an additional 16 minutes that we added to the podcast feed of Fightful Select. So no shortage of new content coming to Fightful Select, and we've got even more coming. I'm going to be doing more bonus shows every month as I'm kind of off the news beat. Jeremy Lambert, Carlos Toro, Robert DeFelice have taken that over, and I'm able to do a little bit more different content. Got a lot of stuff in the plan, so make sure you guys subscribe to Fightful Select. More big changes coming there, but we're really excited about the stuff with Alex. And of course, we got Warren over there all the time doing retro reviews. Lots of neat stuff. Go check out FightfulSelect.com. There's probably going to be something there that you're going to like. So you're going to have Mondays, myself and Denise. Wednesdays, myself, Alex, and Warren. Plus that Listen You Boys show with Jimmy Van. Then Fridays, myself and Warren, and on some weeks it'll be Warren and a co-host. But tonight, if you're here after Monday Night Raw, you want your question read, you want your statement read, donate a super chat, any amount will get it done. But hey, maybe you want to ask as many questions as you want, and you want to do it for just $5. Well, lucky you. You can subscribe to Fightful Select. My Q&A field is up right now for this week's Q&A show. Check it out. Hannah Moore, who was at MSG, sent a super chat and said, this is for us doing the wave during the show. Anthony Ace says, do you think Gable will win King of the Ring? I don't, Alex. I think he'll flip into a really neat end of days and get pinned.
Oh yeah, I mean that's the idea is certainly that he's going to make for a great foible. He's going to get us to believe that he's going to win several times throughout the match, and then Baron Corbin will win. And guess what? If I'm wrong and Chad Gable does win, gosh, I can't wait to be wrong. That'd be awesome. But I'm not going to be wrong about this. I was right about King Corbin getting through all of Raw. I was even right when they were like, hey, triple threat. I'm like, so Corbin steals the pin from Ricochet then, right? And yeah, that's what happens. Sometimes it's predictable. Doesn't mean the match was bad. The match was great. We'll talk about it. But it's at the same time, if you're going to put together this kind of bracket for your King of the Ring tournament, maybe throw some swerves in there, which they did on SmackDown, but not so many on Raw.
Brendan asks, do you see a babyface Carmella versus a heel Bayley feud? I think that's a real good idea. Carmella has shown that she can deliver in the ring, and they have history, Alex. They were legitimate best friends.
Sure. I mean, absolutely. It's wide open at this point when they've decided to like. And I did enjoy a lot of what they're doing with they're staying true to all the characters. Even when Bayley, quote unquote, turned heel, she did so by aligning herself with her best friend for years. So that's not really a heel turn. It's just like deciding, no, my priority is my best friend, Sasha Banks. I'm still the same old Bayley. Like, she's not acting differently. She's the same person. So that's interesting. And I'm wanting to see how her relationship with other people besides Sasha and, Charlotte, who she's feuding with, actually turns out.
Last super chat of this bunch. Somebody says, Sean, what are you drinking and when you cutting your hair? I am drinking Pure Leaf brewed tea. I'm drinking tea because they're not paying me. Sweetened with stevia. Because Jimmy Van has nagged me to the point to where I'm not doing the artificial sweetener. When I'll cut my hair, kind of like it these days. Maybe I'll never cut it. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe if you all want me to cut it bad enough, maybe I will. But we got Monday Night Raw to talk about. Monday Night Raw from MSG. Now, WWE hadn't done this in a while, Alex. It had been a long time since they they ran Madison Square Garden. And do you think it's a coincidence that when ROH and New Japan decided to run Madison Square Garden and AAA decided to run Madison Square Garden, then only ran the Hulu Theater, that this happened? Because to me, it seems like very jealous ex-boyfriendish. Like, I didn't really care about you that much enough to hang on to you. But now that I see you with somebody else, well, I got to come back and show you how good I am.
Well, that's always the way it works. I mean, it does feel that way. I mean, it certainly is also possible they decided to run this, as to combat the first Monday Night Football game of the year. Like thinking that even if, it's an event to watch Raw from inside the Garden, from the comfort of your own couch. I mean, I don't know if that's necessarily an event anymore, but considering the people they decided to bring out to these two nights in Austin and The Undertaker, I think that's kind of the event they're trying to go for. And definitely, I think that if you can ever ascribe a jealous former boyfriend motive to Vince McMahon, it's probably correct.
And like I'm looking, I think it's been Survivor Series 2011 last time they ran TV there.
Yeah.
Last time they ran Raw there looks like
10 years ago.
10 years ago, last like November. Was that the night, the Kofi Orton night?
I don't think so.
I thought it was. Oh well.
Maybe, I don't know.
Oh well. My God. It started off with Steve Austin, a deafening pop, Alex.
He's always going to get that. And the thing about it that I love is that even though, it's our, our brains like go back to a certain time when we see guys from that era show up and we go, "Oh, yeah, I remember that." Gosh, I really have to like wipe my brain of the what I'm watching as they kind of shamble to the ring and struggle to get through the ropes and creaky knees to get up on the turnbuckles to raise a hand. Not Steve Austin. That dude looks thick. He looks like he could go right now. Like, I mean, that's what's cool is I look at Steve Austin now and I go, that's amazing to me that he was doing all this stuff 20 years ago, because he does look fantastic for his age.
Yeah.
Like better than any of those guys from that generation, with the exception of The Rock, who ever come back.
I don't care the situation. I would still watch a CM Punk versus Steve Austin match. Give me 4 weeks of build and I'm good. Don't care how bad the match is going to be. It's one of those things that I'm like, man, we should have had it. We should have seen it, but it didn't happen. Austin says it's been over 20 years since he's been in the Garden, but it definitely hasn't been. He wrestled 6 or 7 times there in the last 20 years, had the Brock Lesnar-Goldberg match at Mania 20, 15 years ago that he reffed, but he recalled memories of MSG and lets the world know that he was brought there to make sure that the contract signing tonight actually happens. Steve Austin refuses to shake Braun Strowman's hand. Rollins out there next, and I thought a lot of what Rollins said was cheesy, but I did kind of like how he embraced the what chants. That made for kind of a fun moment, all things considered.
I liked that he also came out and said, normally, I friggin' hate it when you guys do this. Because, like, nobody gives voice to that. Like, I'm pretty sure all those performers hate being whatted.
Yeah.
But they're not going to say that. Like, but in this case, he can come out and say, normally I hate it. Tonight, with this guy in the ring, I kind of like it. Because, listen, I mean, also, during his promo, gosh, remember how great it used to be? Anyway, here I am to do this thing Vince asked me to do, promo that Steve Austin did. They were whatting him hard, and he was playing along with it. That was good. But yeah, Rollins comes out, and Austin says, "Okay, I'm here to have you guys sign this contract." And Rollins says, "Yeah, let's get right to it. Let's sign that contract. But first, I'm going to talk about bullshit for the next 5 minutes." Like, it was kind of like that. That didn't help when you acknowledge that you're here to do one thing and you decide to talk about nothing. Like, hey, we're here in New York City, as though nobody else who's in the arena knows what city they're in. It's weird.
There was a lot of time killing on this show.
A lot of time killing.
Lots. Like the OC coming out and just abusing time with their own what chants. Oh, man, this took forever. This went about 4 minutes longer than it needed to go. They get called assholes, which Austin brings attention to. This is the most asshole talk we've had on this show.
That's true.
Now, fortunately, there's plenty of asshole talk in my interview that drops tomorrow with RJ City. Make sure you guys check that out. A lot of you might know him from, if you're in Canada, if you're in any country that he's syndicated in, he's on the show Splat a lot. He's a pro wrestler that has worked a lot with David Arquette. He is going to be a name that you all are going to watch. It is one of my best interviews ever. Check that one out. But today, we have the Alexa Bliss interview that dropped, so make sure you guys check that out too. Strowman says he's going to open up a can of whoop-ass. There's all the asshole talk. Strowman and Rollins beat up the OC, but it ends with Austin giving Styles a stunner. What do you think about that? I mean, it's another one of those situations where the old guy goes over Styles, but I mean, honestly, unless it's Bray Wyatt, at this point, you probably... And Austin, for many of the same reasons of Foley. Foley, I mean, you don't want him exactly dropping on his head and back and neck, but I could see Steve Austin taking a mandible claw or something of that nature, but I'm cool with this. It doesn't hurt Styles a bit.
No, it doesn't hurt Styles a bit. And Styles came out and decided to run his mouth. Yeah. Like, usually the guys when I hate that it's like, hey, here are these guys who are currently under contract. You guys who are currently under contract, you young guys, you suck. You suck, young guys. Goading them into attacking the old guy, and the old guy goes over on him. AJ came out and immediately decided to like do a mockery impersonation of Stone Cold and kept telling him to shut up and all this stuff. Like, AJ was asking for it. Like if he didn't get it, would have been false advertising at that point.
Yeah, you never want false advertising when somebody wants to get it, when they're asking for it.
Absolutely.
Whether you're 54 years old like Stone Cold Steve Austin, you're 40-something years old like AJ Styles, maybe you're in your early 30s like Seth Rollins. Really doesn't matter how old you are. When somebody wants it and they want you to give it to them, you got to deliver. And fortunately, when the mailman delivers your Blue Chew, he's not going to know that you're going after a hard dick because it is delivered in a discreet package. Everybody's not all up in your business. I mean, word's going to get around that you got a super good dick game thanks to BlueChew.com. Code FIGHTFUL. Blue Chew brings you the first chewable with the same FDA-approved active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, so you know they work. Whether you're a legend like Stone Cold Steve Austin that wants to just keep his head in the game, if you know what I'm saying, or an up-and-comer, BlueChew.com has you covered. Why are you shaking your head, Alex?
Just the way you said "comer."
It's gonna be real awkward doing these with Denise.
It really is.
I gotta
is.
watch things like I'm not on that on a level of comfortability with Denise to where I think where she might not find these funny. So I don't know yet, but
you might have a human resources problem.
Yeah, well, I am human resources, so that's good. But BlueChew.com brings you the first chewable with the same FDA-approved active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but you can take them anytime, day or night, main event, or the curtain jerker, or maybe you're just jerking something else. I don't know what you guys are doing with your time. Maybe you want to go on a 3-hour marathon. BlueChew.com has you covered. Gets into your system quicker because it's chewable, and you can get it free when you use that code FIGHTFUL. Just pay $5 shipping. Hit them up at Blue Chew. Let them know you heard about them from us. And you can get that super good dick game. That's what I'm all about. So this leads to AJ Styles still reeling in the ring, Alex. And Cedric Alexander wisely comes out there and is like, hey, I want to get this going now. Let's do this. And he's dominant. And there's a tope con hilo that hits hard. One of many tope con hilos that hit hard on this show. AJ went to work on Cedric's arm after a few minutes. Some hard hitting action ensued, but Gallows and Anderson came out and attacked Cedric, causing a DQ. Well, Viking Raiders make the save. The faces clear the ring. And I am beyond... Well, let's talk about the match first off. Good hard hitting action. Cedric controlled it. It made a lot of sense considering that AJ Styles just ate a stunner.
Yeah, no, I liked all that. Cedric has looked incredible in recent matches on Raw. I love that they're pushing him. It is no longer a mystery as we recognize now that the guy who was in charge of creative on 205 Live is now Paul Heyman's right-hand man and running Raw. So he says, hey, all these guys that I used to love working with back in 205 Live, I'm going to give them a push. Okay, Paul? Paul says, fine. Yeah, Cedric looked great. I loved the context of it. The reason that he gets a chance to look that great in beginning it is because AJ just took a stunner that left him laid out. That's great. I'm a huge fan of context. You know me, Sean Sapp. I love a match in a vacuum, but I love even more a match outside of a vacuum. Non-vacuumed matches.
Yeah, a vacuum and a cell match could be very good, or hell in a vacuum, maybe.
Yeah.
We could rock with that. Viking Raiders out. I am beyond ready for them to face actual teams. I just don't want the OC jobbed out too much because we literally just got done with them. Not getting jobbed out. Jobbed out would have been an improvement. They weren't on TV for a year and a half. And then they signed a new deal. They got a little push, and all of a sudden they're pushed back down the card.
Yeah. I mean, I think they could be utilized greatly to establish a team like the Viking Raiders as major threats. I think it should be a thing where it's for the titles, because at least then, it's not like, here, we're these also-rans who used to be great, and we're going to put over the younger guys. It feels more important if the titles are involved. But, I mean... Rude and Ziggler, I guess.
Yeah, speaking of, Rude and Ziggler really tried to they tried to weasel their way in. And at the time, I was like, are they trying to weasel their way into the OC? Are they trying to weasel their way into a match? What is it they're trying to do? Well, they get the OC to agree to let them kind of weasel their way in, at least to the match. But there was no match at that point, right?
No, they were like, hey, guys, you have some common enemies that we have. So maybe we should, okay, handshake, fist pound, yes. Handshake, fist pound, yes. And there was no like, hey, would you like to team with us in a 10-man tag as the main event of tonight's program? There was nothing so specific as that. It was just
made later.
It was just, hey, well, now I guess we have to have this match. It was just weird. And I don't love the way that they're writing Ziggler and Rude, especially Rude is like, hey, Ziggler, look, it's the OC, those guys who run things, but not tonight, I guess. That's never been who Rude is. That's not Rude. Rude's the guy who wears a great suit. He's totally like, I don't know what this is. Like, you can figure out, you can make them a pair if you want. You can decide that now they're a tag team, but you don't get to like decide they're completely different characters than who they have been for their entire time on TV.
Roman Reigns comes out, speaks for Connor's cure. I thought this was the good, really great use for him on this show. I was trying to find the words to really describe it and kind of stumbled over it, but Reigns is an honest-to-God cancer survivor. So, I mean, why not have him do this?
It means so much more. I mean, can you imagine these kids who are all probably huge Roman Reigns fans?
Yeah.
Who are battling cancer and have beaten cancer and have an honest-to-goodness superhero to look up to say, like, Roman Reigns had cancer. He beat it. I'm going to be like Roman Reigns. Like, how important that is for a little kid to have something like that to latch onto and look up to. This was this was one of the better Connor's Cure segments I remember them doing.
I have learned to tune all this Street Profits shit out.
It's really hurtful at this point. Like, I'm watching it going,
and it went
forever. So bad, and it went forever. And I don't know, like, is it a thing where they're like, hey, watch these guys on NXT, or now that these guys aren't champs anymore, like, maybe they'll be on Raw, where there's a draft coming up, rumored-ish.
This would have been one of the, if this were crammed into 2 hours, it would have been one of the better 2-hour Raws in years because of the quality of the in-ring work. But the extra 4 or 5 minutes of the opening segment, and honestly, we didn't need AJ and Cedric if they were going to do a 10-man tag. You didn't need it. The women's tag match, while good, that was a 28-minute segment for an 18-minute match.
Yes.
There were like 3 or 4 commercials there. The Street Profits, you didn't need it at all.
Well, no, the Street Profits have to be there. It's a directive from Vince. We have the Street Profits, the two funny black guys have to be there to do jive things and inform the audience of the things they've already seen. Like, it's really, really stupid. Like, you can utilize these guys
They're
through
so good.
many better ways than this. At least let them write their own stuff or improv a little. But this is all dreck that they're being given to do, and it's just painful to watch.
And they're both so good.
So talented. And they've really come a long way in the ring. They're so much fun to watch. Like, you're going to have people who, when they finally get a chance to watch these guys on the USA Network or on Fox, depending on where they wind up in said rumored draft, are going to be like, oh, these guys changed the channel. Like because you've conditioned us to hate them as opposed to really want to see what they're about when they get in the ring.
We saw Enes Kanter get in the ring. Now, Alex, you know I'm going to love this because he went to school about 40 minutes from me.
That's true.
As if there were any accomplishment greater than the fact that him simply not playing at Kentucky got Josh Harrelson's big white ass drafted. That's a miracle. The fact
it
that
is.
Simply Enes Kanter not playing any ball got this big dopey white dude drafted by the NBA, several seasons too. He won the 24/7 championship from R-Truth before this, then tears off his suit to reveal his new Celtics jersey.
Yeah.
And I loved Graves saying, and now he can go back there where nobody's going to like him there either. Now, I've inquired in the past about his possibility of wrestling in the future, and he's pretty young. He's like 26, 27, and I'm told that his knees are already wrecked.
Oh, totally wrecked. I mean, he's a big man in the NBA.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course his knees are wrecked. It's really too bad. I mean, he could do the Great Khali thing. He's going to put on a lot of weight, though.
Oh, yeah. You don't realize how small NBA players are, relatively speaking.
6'10", but like 235. You know what I mean? Like that doesn't work in WWE.
Yeah, it's just like I enjoyed seeing him on Raw, because I'll tell you what, that DDP stuff was painful to watch. As much as I love DDP and I love Enes Kanter, that stuff was so painfully scripted.
Yeah,
it was not for me. It definitely just was not for me. Joseph, R-Truth won the title back, by the way. Joseph Farley says, weekly profanity buffer, go Cats. Yeah, it is that time. It is that time. Firefly Funhouse, another good one, because they're teasing the Steve Austin stuff. Who knows if we'll get anything from it? But then there's a clock with 11:19. There was a lot of speculation, and I asked people, hey, what do you think this is? And a bunch of people who apparently don't know how calendars work were saying, oh, SmackDown, oh, Survivor Series. Well, let me tell you guys, neither SmackDown or Survivor Series are on 11/19. SmackDown moves to Friday next month. Survivor Series is like 11/22, something like that. It's not the same. It's Tuesday, not the same. Then people were saying, oh, well, that'll be the time on Raw or Survivor. So help me God, a Survivor or this show Sunday goes till 11:19. I'm going to snap. Because the show's going to start at 6.
Right.
I don't need it.
Do you know what it is, Sean?
I've heard Bible verses. I've heard the date that Undertaker
it's
debuted
the date
officially.
That Undertaker debuted. Now,
officially
debuted. Right.
Yes.
Now that to me is the really intriguing thing, because it's, I mean, 11/19 means something. It doesn't mean nothing, Sean. They did something with it, and to me that's the logical way to go.
Girth after you take Blue Chew.
Right. The way I would book it is I don't need, like, it's fun to think of Bray Wyatt versus Seth Rollins in a Hell in a Cell match. But once you put the title on him, he's no longer a special guy. Like, he's the champion, which means he's the face of the brand. He's not like this guy who flits in and out. You can't, like, make the lights go out and give Jerry Lawler a mandible claw while you're on the belt. You serve a different purpose at that point. And I don't think he should be losing clean to Seth Rollins.
He shouldn't be losing, period.
At all. So the way I would do it is have Undertaker somehow ruin that for Bray Wyatt, because you know, he basically put his date in his mouth. And then now you have a Survivor Series, The Fiend versus The Undertaker. This time it's for real, dead man. If you lose this match, you're gone. Like, you could do that, because what a perfect guy to do it. Because Bray Wyatt had all this momentum and went up against the dead man at WrestleMania, and then everything after that was nothing. So is it Bray Wyatt's new version? The new scary evil guy is way scarier than, like, you know, a very old slow man in a trench coat. And he would be the one to actually put out Undertaker. They're never going to do that. But there are certainly ways to get to an Undertaker The Fiend match that I would be very interested in watching.
I think the last 2 episodes of Firefly Funhouse have been a couple of my favorites. And honestly, there was a period where I wondered if they had peaked, and they have not. I was very happy with that. I was not happy with the extended video package and all the entrances for this women's tag match. Like, we're talking like 10, 11 minutes. And a couple commercial breaks before the match happened. From the video package to the bell ringing, 2 commercial breaks. You don't need that. You don't need that. You could have done something else there. But this was a very fun match. It went 17, 18 minutes. There were some real lulls in the crowd, and then there was some "This is awesome" chants. When it picked up towards the end, Alex, man, I thought this was really good. Some low lights. The second rope leg drop of Becky's doesn't do it for me. The little push kick doesn't do it for me. If Becky had Bayley's offense, I think that would even accelerate her. Like, as far as like hitting hard and slugging it out. That moonsault that Charlotte missed and wasn't supposed to, yuck. But then there's some really great spots. That figure eight getting broken up. The good strike combo from Becky. Sasha doing the Meteora outside. A backstabber on Becky as she's trying to go for the disarmer. Bayley left standing. She looked really good at points. Especially, she goes Bayley to belly into the barricade on Becky. Then Bayley to back onto Charlotte outside the ring.
Yep.
That sets up natural selection in the ring. Lots of good spots. They got some good time. They got main event caliber wrestler time on this show, Alex.
Yes. All of the things that you have mentioned that are good, I agree with. And yet, I wonder if you could trade having this match for the first time ever, these four women in the WWE main event, a tag match between these four women, and instead you figured out a way to build to it so that, like, we keep these women out of the ring, all four of them at the same time between now and Survivor Series. They go at each other. They hate each other. There's a few of them in the ring. One of them saves the other one from a beatdown, all this stuff, until we're frothing at the mouth to see them get their hands on each other, all four of them in the same, as opposed to, hey, by the way, we announced on Twitter we're going to do this match on Monday. There wasn't, I mean, I know there's a build to it in the other way, but there's a way of getting to it to the point where, I mean, when are we ever going to get another first time ever? You've been asking for it. Here it is. These people fight each other for the first time ever on a big time pay-per-view match. Like, I miss that. This was great. And it's cool to see these women have this kind of a great match in Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
Where the last time, let's be honest, that Raw ran the Garden, I wonder how long the longest women's match on that night was.
No kidding.
2 minutes? 2 minutes, maybe? Was it a bra and panties match? Like, listen, like how far we've come in a decade so that these women could have this spot doing this great stuff at Madison Square Garden on Raw is awesome. And yet, I just really wanted them to do this at Survivor Series or something. You know what I mean? But as long as this continues, you could absolutely, if you're doing it right, build to a four corners, fatal four-way, winner take all, both championships on the line between these four at Mania, and you tell me what's a bigger match than that. If you build it right, and these women are all still going strong, I mean, they showed what they can do. They're the top of their game, and I'd love to see where it goes from here.
I need some more women built up effectively underneath these that can work in the ring, because it can't always just be these four. Right now, it can be, but in the future, it can't be.
Right. When you say you need some women built up underneath these four who can work and go in the ring, you know who it can't be? Is Natty and Lacey Evans. Because they 50-50 booked, like, feud, like, protracted over a long time.
Doesn't help anybody.
Now that's where the women's revolution goes to die. I'm sorry. Like the crowd could not have been less into this. Like, nobody cared. Like, there's got to be a level beneath the four horsewomen having an awesome feud together and above Lacey and Natty doing something, I guess.
Let's go ahead and talk about that. Natalya defeated Lacey Evans. I thought this was one of Lacey's better in-ring performances. She had a great neck breaker, smothered Natalya with the ring apron, a really good heel move. That slingshot elbow hit so hard. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Her work does still have that early Baron Corbin feel, and not just because of the association, but it's where she applies that Cobra Clutch and just grinds it to a halt. And Natalya is like, nah, we're not doing that. We're going to work out of that one. Lacey misses her marrow salt because that Cobra Clutch resting is not what you need in hour 3 of Raw. You got to have fast-paced stuff there, except in rare cases. Natalya has some great counters. Like she's really good with that, with like just getting a foot up and really grinding everything and doing something as little as putting a foot up on a Bronco Buster attempt.
Yeah, that was cool.
And launching somebody. For Natalya, it's good because it really portrays that she is a crafty veteran, that she knows her way around the ring, and Lacey maybe doesn't.
Well, Natalya does know her way around the ring, except for the points where she's like, she gets in a little, she's like, gets a boot up and gets an opportunity, and then before she does her spinny clothesline, she goes, "Come on, you guys!" And then
Wait,
did you see right in the ribs?
But did you see the Now This post today, where it's got the girl explaining why we shouldn't say "you guys"?
Well,
man, Natalia's gonna get it. It's not gender inclusive enough, and boy, they got ethered in the replies. But Natalya wins, and I mean, this match is pointless, but WWE does desperately need to build up some more female talent, and they need it for people who can deliver in the ring. People like Lacey Evans right now, as I've mentioned before, in a tag team, she would be very, very serviceable. She would be very, like, especially with somebody who can work. But WWE right now needs to make some strong people who can work in the ring.
Yeah.
To where I ask, where does Ember Moon fit into all of this?
Honestly, don't know, Sean Ross Sapp. Let's hope that after the upcoming rumored draft, that she fits in somewhere where she can actually get some TV time. I mean, she needs to be at that level, right below these four women, and there are a bunch of other women who could absolutely fit into that place. But Lacey Evans ain't it, man. Like, this is some of her best work, and that's saying something. You know what I mean? But yeah, this was not my jam. I don't need a 50-50 feud between these women.
I don't either. If Natalya's gonna win this, make her go over hard. That's what I say.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, it seems tailor-made to like make Lacey look strong while she's not involved with the top feud in the women's division. If that's the case, you have her tap out to the sharpshooter.
Yeah,
like, that doesn't help. Like, I mean, you could have her like get in the sharpshooter, get to the ropes, and then get angry and like, you know, get disqualified in some way. Like, she was going to tap out, but she didn't. I mean, I don't know, whatever it is, but like. If that's your point, which to me seems like why you run this feud to begin with, is to keep Lacey looking strong so she can be because they love Lacey. I don't know why, but they do. But if you're going to keep her looking strong, you can't have her tap out clean to the sharpshooter.
Well, God damn it. The wrestling world was promised Lucha Libre Wrestling in Madison Square Garden in September 2019, and AAA is rocking the Hulu Theater. So WWE was like, we'll do it, damn it. And they did it pretty good. Rey Mysterio defeated Grand Metalik. This match was like all Metalik.
Yeah.
This was made him look very good. I love Rey's gear in this match.
Yeah, it's cool.
I did not like Metalik almost breaking Rey's head with his ass, Alex. Wow.
Yeah, like it's one of those things. Like, I feel like Rey's like, oh no, usually somebody else catches me. I'm not usually the guy underneath, you know, taking all the brunt of these things.
The old atomic stink face there.
He did not catch that well, and that's a Metalik move. If you've scouted him at all, that's one of the things he does is that step up.
The old Tope Con salad toss there.
Yeah,
that was filthy. There's a nice springboard swanton that hits for Metalik, but Rey kicks out. Why is it a senton when everybody else does it, but it's only a swanton when Jeff Hardy does it? But it's the same move. Know. It's the same move.
It's the exact same move.
That's
weird.
Don't know. Metalik beats the brakes off of Rey. My favorite spot of this match was that second rope Hurricane Rana, and I love that they pointed out the snap that Rey and Metalik got on it. Ooh boy, that we're talking like an old. That's what you used to see Scott Steiner finish people with, like not that type of move, but when they got that snap on it, you believe like, ooh, that probably messed him up a little bit. Oh, and he's gonna take advantage and pin them while they're at it. That was real good stuff. Rey wins with the Sunset Flip Bomb, 619, and Frog Splash. But this was designed to do a few things, Alex. Get Metalik on TV, have a good match, Rey win, highlight Metalik, and it did all those. This was a home run segment.
Yeah, no, it was great. I love the idea of I'm not retiring. Instead, I'm gonna wrestle all these guys who absolutely grew up watching like old grainy videotape of that Halloween Havoc match between me and Eddie. And I'm going to like get in the ring and I'm gonna like see if I can still go against the guys who came up wanting to be me. Like, can we just have him keep doing that? Like, there's all kinds of dudes out there now who are signed to WWE who fit that description. This Metalik looked fantastic. Like, if you go back to his Cruiserweight Classic stuff, like, he was so good in that tournament. I don't think he's like the third most important guy in Lucha House Party.
Yeah.
Like, you could really utilize that guy. He's the biggest of the three.
You might put him after the Noisemakers even.
Yeah.
I mean,
or the Pinata.
The Pinata.
He's after the Pinata.
So
he's the fourth, at least.
Here's the thing I appreciate about Rey Mysterio. When I got full on back into wrestling, it was 96. That's when I was really like allowed to watch it again and really watch it all the time. And I remember the big spot in the Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, WrestleMania, biggest match of the year match, was a moonsault. We saw Lacey Evans and Charlotte Flair both do those in random spots in the middle of matches tonight. There's stuff that Rey Mysterio did in that same year in matches that I still don't see people doing today. In 1997, Rey Mysterio did that DDT to Eddie Guerrero. When do you see that? Ray can't even pull it off like that anymore when he tried.
No way.
Like, there was stuff back then, 20 years ago, that he was doing that people can't do today, much less have done and then expanded upon and like made it completely different. Nobody was doing 630s back then. Nope. A 450 was like, whoa, what the hell is this? But you got guys like Rey Mysterio who was doing like a backflip DDT. You got guys like Too Cold Scorpio who did a moonsault leg drop. Nobody's doing that today. When you see guys like that, man, and that's what really stands out to me. So the fact that both he and Scorpio are still working today, that's pretty telling, because what was the thing that you would always hear about that? Like, how long can they keep it up? How long can they keep it up? Well, they both done pretty damn well for themselves.
Yep.
King of the Ring semifinals. Dare I say match of the night, Alex? I loved this match. This was incredible.
Really? Super great match. Loved it.
Joe got a fantastic reaction.
Yeah.
And oddly, so did Baron Corbin.
Corbin's been putting in work, man. That's the thing about him, is that, as we said, if he's allowed to have these matches at this kind of work rate, this kind of pace, like, people are really going to start to really fall in love with this guy, even though he's a heel and we all love to hate him. But where you get into the trouble is we're like, okay, Corbin, here's the part where you slow it down for 5 straight minutes.
Yeah.
And just put a guy in a headlock.
It's the half Nelson crossface. That's what it always was.
Half Nelson crossface.
When you knew you saw that, you knew the match was in trouble. Now, what I don't agree with is all these people that said, best heel in the business. And I'm like, no, he really wasn't. No. The matches were bad. The promos were bad. People didn't want it. Like, people tuned out in droves. That's not best heel in the business. That's not.
Yeah.
Can he be working this style? I think so. Because the thing is, you want to see that guy get beat. You want him to be able to talk you into the building. You want him to be able to piss you off into the building.
Yeah.
And I think that this Baron Corbin can do that.
Yeah, and I love that. We'll talk about how this match and all the things that happen. I love that he wins matches, and either he's winning them by pulling out his never ever been kicked out of finisher, which is a major deal, because when the first guy, like, if you put him in a position where he can be a champion of some kind, and so up comes somebody who he doesn't take seriously, and that guy is the first one to ever kick out of the finisher, that makes that guy whoever that person is. Like, that's a very useful thing to have in a heel. Also, I love that when he wins matches by cheating, he doesn't actually cheat.
Yes, he's just
smarter. Just smart, and that's what pisses you off, because you're like, oh,
exactly.
But he cheated. He cheated. No, I guess he didn't cheat. Damn it, that makes me even madder. Like, that's the kind of thing that you want in a heel. That's great. The whole thing of like, I'm gonna get out of this match because I don't want to be in this match because I'm too good for this match. That's like, well, dude, just have the
Yeah.
match.
When they do that chicken shit thing, or they
Yeah.
beat him all the time, or he has
Yeah.
to cheat to win all the time, it's like,
Yep.
well, what good is he? What
Yeah.
good is he? This tournament has shown how good Baron Corbin is. I love stopping the Tower of Doom spot. I love it. Crowd is all about this match. A really big testament to WWE making this tournament matter. I loved the boot to the deep six spot.
Yeah.
Joe pulls Corbin out into a coquina clutch. I dug that spot too.
Yep.
Drags him onto the floor, and Ricochet breaks up with a shooting star press.
And again, we talked about being smart as a heel. Why are baby faces so stupid? Ricochet, just sit in the ring. Sit in the ring and wait for Samoa Joe to completely choke out Baron Corbin. One of your opponents is then out of the match.
Well, I mean, he could have thought, I'm going to land on both of these guys and pin one.
But he didn't. And like, that's the thing. It's like, I don't know, that to me, that seemed like breaking up that at that point felt like you could wait for like Joe to put out Corbin, then throw Corbin off him, and then land right on Joe, and then throw him in the ring. You could do something that wasn't like, hey, my opponent is putting my other opponent into a sleeper hold. Before my second opponent is out cold, I'm going to break up this submission. That didn't make any sense to me. You could be smarter than that.
Yeah. Corbin throws Ricochet over a barricade after a 630. Ricochet had hit a recoil and missed a 630. But this was real good. This is, I'll be on Chad Gable versus Elias tomorrow night. I can't wait to see Baron Corbin and Chad Gable if they're allowed to work this pace.
Yeah, man. Especially, I mean, it's a pay-per-view match.
Yeah.
Like they're doing it. I mean, let's be honest, it could very well be on the pre-show.
No, it shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be. It's the King of the Ring finals. You got to figure out some way of doing that.
This should really culminate at Survivor Series. It really should have.
They should have.
That is the elimination aspect of it. He survived. Yeah. He is the winner.
Right. But yeah, it's so awesome to be able to see like somebody. Like I thought it was going to be Mustafa Ali or Buddy Murphy, but if it's Chad Gable, it's Chad Gable. Like somebody on that level, overlooked, passed over, like not having injury kept them from their rightful place, whatever. To then have a chance at this, to get that kind of a marquee, even if he loses to and looks great in defeat. To put over Baron Corbin, like to know that if you go into a match for the King of the Ring Championship against Baron Corbin, you'll never be more cheered than you were since you were in the Olympics, Chad Gable. Like that's going to be a fervor that he's going to get from that crowd. So let's hope they figure out a way to wrestle a match that lives up to it.
I see a lot of people, or I see one person saying, but it is a point that's been echoed. Should have been a King of the Ring pay-per-view. I disagree. I think if you see the same person 3 times, that's a little bit too much. Unless it's going to be one of those one-off specials that WWE throws up against AEW because, hey, a lot of people saying, oh my gosh, Worlds Collide. It's replacing NXT. What's going on? You're going to find out what's going on when WWE randomly announces, hey, what? Full Gear? Oh, well, look at that. NXT TakeOver.
That's weird. We had us?
What happened?
What? We had no idea. Nobody told us. We didn't get CC'd on that email. I'm sorry. Oh, and now we already printed the T-shirts, guys. We can't change it. Yeah. I'm sorry. Now we have to have our show at the same time as your show. Whoops.
Oh, yeah, no. Yep. Hope they have a DVR. Jesus Christ. Main event time. 10-man tag. Cedric Alexander, Seth Rollins, Strowman, and the Viking Raiders defeated the OC, Bobby Roode, and Dolph Ziggler. I thought this match was going to be bananas, and it wasn't. No. It just wasn't. Braun landed an early choke slam. Viking Raiders got some offense. We see Cedric being worked over to Yowie Wowie chants, which was not promising. I did dig all the motion on the apron, like everybody on the babyface side, like trying to work people up. That reminded me of like early 90s type of stuff because, hey, how much have we bitched about babyfaces not having friends? All these people that are nice don't have friends, but all the assholes get along?
Yep.
I mean, man, looks like the Fightful roster or something. Jesus. Rollins did do a nice Falcon Arrow, and things are breaking down. It was hard to follow what was going on because of all the zooms.
Yep.
Styles connected with a phenomenal forearm to Ivar, and Strowman mows everyone down. We go to another commercial after Strowman and Rollins are arguing because Rollins gets pushed into Strowman. Now, what I like is this didn't continue. I am led to assume, Alex, that during the commercial, Strowman was like, well, all right.
I'm sorry. I just saw the replay up on the Jumbotron.
I must have misunderstood.
You were obviously pushed into me, not of your own volition. So I suppose we're all right now. Friends? Yeah, that's what happened. So.
Oh, man. This match was nothing special. I thought it'd be more balls to the wall. Ivar does a big senton to the pile on the outside, which he barely cleared that roll. Oh, my God. But then Cedric pins Styles with a lumbar check. I love that. But what I didn't love was as soon as he did it, you could tell. Now, this isn't me reporting something. It's me assuming. Somebody was like, God damn it, pal. Get him out there. We're about to go off the air. Get Austin out there. Because the last time Austin closed the show, they almost blew time.
Yeah.
So Austin power walks Santino style to the ring, does a beer bash, pisses me off, Alex, because just last week I ran an article with Braun Strowman. Check out the interview at youtube.com/Fightful, where he implied that he only parties in Crocs. Meanwhile, I, in fact, see him partying in the boots, which is the exact opposite of what he told me.
Not good.
Come on, Braun.
Yeah.
What'd you think of this?
Match was fine. You got to have Cedric go over Styles so you can get a reason to have that U.S. title match on Sunday because all titles must be defended, which is good because, usually the IC title gets left off of shows forever and ever and ever. So I'm glad they have at least one champion, at least one pay-per-view a year where all the championships get defended. That's good. But I agree. It was a weird thing with Cedric, gets the pin, and before he has they don't even hit his music. they hit Austin's music. So it was like, okay, great. Austin just pinned AJ Styles.
Let's be fair. No, it wasn't. It wasn't Cedric Alexander that did that spot. I was trying to. I think it was ACH and Kenny Omega that did the Rock Stone Cold spot in PWG. But hey, you could think of worse childhood dreams to come true than celebrating to Austin's music.
Oh, absolutely. I did want to say that I asked how long you thought the last match, women's match at MSG on Raw was. Yeah. Somebody went ahead and found that stat for me.
Oh, okay.
From at 4Horsewomen4 on Twitter. Okay. The last women's match on a Raw in Madison Square Garden in 2009 was Melina versus Alicia Fox for the Divas title in a Lumberjill match that ran 1 minute and 38 seconds.
Do you understand the significance of this match, Alex?
Yes, it's got. Is it not Cameron's favorite match?
It is Cameron's favorite match on Tough Enough in 2011 when Cameron was there in line.
Yes.
Stone Cold Steve Austin goes, "What's your favorite match?" And she goes, "My favorite match is between Melina and Alicia Fox." And Austin goes, "Who?" Amazing. Super chat sent by Rob Wilkins. He says, "Hey, check out the Fightful Facebook group. Do you think that WWE and MSG will go back to an exclusive agreement again? Ready for a Samoa Joe face turn?" I am ready for a Samoa Joe face turn. They got to do it carefully. He cannot lose his edge.
But the thing is, they didn't need. They had it all primed and ready. Like there was that thing where he was like, "Hey, Sami Zayn, you're talking crap about me." He goes out and squishes Sami Zayn. And we're like, "Okay." Like Samoa Joe is just like this vigilante who just murders people. We all get to cheer for him anyway. We were like, "Yay!" And he was like, "No, just kidding. You people suck." And like, you ruined it. You had an awesome thing going, and then you ruined it. I hope they have a way of like getting back to that point where it was totally organic, where we were all ready to cheer for Joe, and then they said, "No, you're not allowed to anymore."
Yeah, that really all they have to do is have Joe do the same stuff, but win.
Yep.
That's it.
Yes.
That's it. Do I think that MSG and WWE will enter an exclusive agreement? I don't. I think that MSG... Well, here's the thing. I don't think it'll matter unless it's AEW running the show. Because nobody else running that right now matters.
Right.
All due respect to New Japan and Ring of Honor, they're not selling that out again. together,
No.
even.
No.
I think the world of Okada and Tanahashi and all these people, but I don't think they sell it out. I think that a lot of those tickets were sold with people expecting the Elite to be there. That's just my assumption. I can hardly prove that. Also, yes, guys, check out that Facebook group. It's facebook.com/group/Fightful, or you can just search Fightful Pro Wrestling. It is a great discussion group. I'm really digging it. Astros J said they chanted Becky's husband at Seth and Mr. Lynch. Hey, sure, why not? Why not? He probably honestly gets a kick out of that, all things considered.
Yeah.
As long as it doesn't become habitual or anything. So as we wrap up, Alex, SmackDown, MSG tomorrow. We know King of the Ring semifinals. We know Undertaker's going to be there. You got any hopes for this show?
I think I think it's possible that we might see the Fiend make an appearance when the Undertaker's in the ring. King of the Ring finals. I'm hoping that
Semifinals.
Semifinals. Excuse me. I got a little ahead of myself because I think we both know that Chad Gable has to win this because an Elias versus Corbin match doesn't make any sense. But I'm at least hoping that Elias has another fantastic match in him like he had last week against Ali, and Gable. Gable's going to be
lots of praise for that
cheered.
one backstage. I'm going to write about it soon, but some key people were very, very happy with Elias and Ali, especially Ali. Some key people, according to a well-placed source. I would like you all to leave a well-placed thumbs up. It would help us out a ton. Whenever you guys leave a thumbs up, it really helps our algorithm. Our views, listens, all that stuff are broken up between YouTube, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, all these places. So anytime you leave an iTunes review, that really helps us out because all of our listens aren't going to iTunes and pushing us up the charts. Whenever you leave a thumbs up, that really helps because all of our listens aren't coming via YouTube. So any reviews that you all can leave, any thumbs up that you guys can leave, really, really help us out. I'm looking to travel even more to get great content for you guys. I've done I think 30 interviews over the last month and a half. So I'm churning them out, getting them out there. Check out that RJ City interview. Thousands of you listen to this. Thousands of you need to check out that interview. It is a discussion. I'll tell you that much. He explains why no wrestling company, it doesn't really explain. He just says that no wrestling company should hire him. That interview is a good indication why. Alex, your last Monday Night Raw episode. I'm sure you might do a fill-in here and there.
Yeah, here and there when I'm needed, or when something so egregious happens that I simply must make a run-in. I've done run-ins in the past. I don't know how if new technology will allow it, but I may have to just message Sean Ross Sapp and say, "You got to let me on here so I can yell about something." But no, these 3 years covering Raw have honestly been a huge amount of fun. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not dying. But Raw has been the place usually where I get a chance to
You're dying on Mondays. You're dead to
true.
me on Mondays.
That's true. But Monday has been the place where I've been around the longest, and it's been the place where I've gotten to give most of my great rants that have gotten so many
triggered
clicks.
rants. I love those.
Epic / hashtag triggered rants. But yeah, this has been great. I'm looking forward to moving into a new section of wrestling. Those of you who watch our takeover specials know that my favorite stuff in the world is NXT, and I'm so excited to be reviewing that. But I will miss some of the stuff going on Raw. There's no doubt that it's had an upturn recently.
Yeah.
The matches have all been way better than they were, let's say, over the past couple of years. And I'm looking forward to seeing where this goes, even if I won't be covering it immediately afterwards on the Fightful Wrestle podcast.
I know a lot of you want to hear me talk about Impact and Anthem. I've got to do some fact gathering still. You better believe that's going to be a topic we discuss on the Listen to Your Boy Wednesday. Jimmy is a Toronto businessman. He is going to talk about some other Toronto businessmen. I can tell you that personally already I am not thrilled with some of the news. Some of their PR people got laid off at Access, and that is one of the best PR teams I have ever dealt with. If you ever heard me do a New Japan interview, it's probably because of New Japan on Access. Those media calls, probably because of them. They've invited us to every show, and I'm ashamed that I did not get to go. I just started to travel this year. I want to send my best to that team because that Access TV PR team is way better than anybody I've ever dealt with at Anthem. And they do not deserve what's going on there right now. I hope it's healthy for everybody that it can be in the business. But we will talk about that more on Wednesday on the Listen Ya Boy. Until next time, guys, leave that thumbs up. We're out.